Imagine standing on the cold plains near the Volga River, thousands of years ago. The wind moves across the land without resistance. There are no cities, no roads, no borders, only open earth stretching endlessly in every direction. A small group of humans moves slowly across the landscape. They carry almost nothing. No written language, no maps, no certainty about tomorrow. Only instinct and the will to survive. This is where the journey begins. In From Volga to Ganga, Rahul Sankrityayan does not tell history like a textbook. He tells it through stories, small human moments scattered across thousands of years. Each story is not just about events, but about people who lived, struggled, and tried to make sense of the world around them. At the beginning, life is simple and unforgiving. Food is uncertain, shelter is temporary, and danger is constant. Every day is a negotiation with nature. But even here, something quietly powerful exists, the beginning of thought, the beginning of connection, the beginning of what it means to be human. These early humans do not know it yet, but they are part of a story that will stretch across continents and centuries. And slowly, that story begins to move. The people migrate not out of curiosity, but necessity. Seasons change, resources disappear, and survival demands movement. And so they walk across vast lands, through forests, across rivers, and over unknown terrain. Each step forward carries risk, but it also carries change. With time, something remarkable begins to happen. Sounds turn into language, gestures turn into meaning, and stories begin to form. Around fires, under open skies, people start sharing experiences not just to survive, but to remember. In those moments, something deeply human emerges. The desire to belong. Generations pass. The world becomes a little more familiar, yet still uncertain. And then comes one of the greatest turning points in human history. People begin to settle. They discover agriculture. For the first time, survival is not entirely dependent on movement. They build, they plant, they stay. Life becomes more stable. But stability brings something new: complexity. With settlements come structures. With structures come roles. And with roles come differences. Some lead, some follow, some own, some serve. Society begins to take shape not just as a group of people, but as a system. And within that system, new tensions begin to grow. Power emerges, inequality appears, and the human story becomes more layered than ever before. Still, the journey continues across landscapes, across generations, across time itself. The people move closer toward what will one day be known as the Indian subcontinent. And then they encounter the Ganga, a river unlike any they have seen before. Not just vast, but deeply symbolic. Here, something shifts. Not just in how people live, but in how they think. The struggle for survival slowly transforms into something deeper, the search for meaning. People begin to ask questions that go beyond the physical world. What is life? What is truth? What happens beyond what we can see? And in these questions, a new kind of journey begins, one that is not across land, but within the mind. Civilizations begin to rise. Ideas begin to take form. Philosophy, belief, and culture begin to shape human identity. And yet, despite all this change, something remains the same. There is still love. There is still conflict. There is still ambition. There is still loss. The tools have changed, the societies have grown, and the world has become more complex. But the human experience remains strikingly familiar. And that is what makes From Volga to Ganga so powerful. It reminds us that history is not just about kings, wars, or dates. It is about people who felt fear, people who hoped for something better, people who struggled with the same questions we still ask today. And maybe that is the most important realization of all, that across thousands of years, we are not so different from those who came before us. We are simply continuing the same journey. If you find stories like this meaningful, consider subscribing to Literature Literally. Because this channel is not just about stories. It is about understanding the human story and perhaps understanding ourselves a little better. Because no matter where we come from, and no matter how far we have traveled, we are all part of the same story.